What's up, guys? It's Joseph, and I'm back with a little bit of a different kind of video today. It's not a 600-pound life video or anything like that. As you can tell by the title, it's going to be something like Democratic or Republican or something like that, question mark, which it's not clickbait because this video is actually about the two-party system in America. I also, of course, wanted to show off my swanky new background. Well, it's not really new. I got it like 3 months ago. And obviously, I haven't had a reason to use it because I thought I was going to be doing like news style content, but that kind of sucks, so I didn't do it. But I haven't had a reason until now to do it, but I really like it. It's like the We the People, the Constitution and stuff like that, and it looks really good. Well, you're probably wondering, like, okay, Joseph, you got me here. What do you want to talk about? And I was kind of thinking a little bit earlier about how our political preferences, our ideologies, whatever you want to call it, have become so ingrained in us as Americans, especially. I don't know kind of how it is abroad or anything like that because I live in America and I'm not sure of the political climate there. But as far as the political climate here goes, it is very a part of us, almost as a part of us as you would say your career, your job, what you do for a living. And the reason I brought up like what you do for a living, your career, your job, how you spend your time and stuff like that is because it's pretty commonplace in American culture to ask, hey, what do you do for a living? How do you spend your time? What are your days looking like? And nobody thinks anything of that. But somewhere along the line, I don't know when it was exactly, it's probably some boomer who made this unwritten rule that you can't ask about politics, you can't ask about religion, and those are the two main things that it's kind of rude to talk about for some reason, whatever reason, and if you do, it's just frowned upon for whatever reason. And I'm not about to get into the entire political debate because there's just not changing anybody's mind at this point. As most of you know, if you've ever gotten a political argument or anything like that on Facebook, Twitter, something like that, it's just one block of text after another and nobody is changing anybody's mind. It's annoying. You read it, you get pissed off, you end up blocking the person, unfriending them, whatever. You end up losing friends over something that really just isn't that important. And not to say politics aren't important, but it's not worth losing a friendship over. It brings out the worst in us. It's just not worth some of the stuff we do say to each other. And I think most of us can agree on that. Well, anyway, I've done enough rambling. So this video is kind of about how, like I said a little bit earlier on in the video, how you can just ask somebody when you first meet them out of the blue, you don't know anything about them, you don't know who their kids are, you don't care who their kids are probably, you can ask them, hey, what do you do for a living? Are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Are you a plumber? Are you an electrician? You go to school? How do you spend your days? You can ask those questions and most people are completely upfront about it, don't bat an eye, and it's good to go. But how many times, and I mean maybe you have, but how many times have you really been asked, hey, are you Democrat? Are you Republican? Do you identify with liberal, conservative views? Are you libertarian? Are you socialist? Are you communist? And I mean, I'm not judging here. I mean, not that I agree with any of those, but I mean, hey, I'm not judging. That's not what this video is for. And the reason I bring up that point is if I'm a betting man, I would assume most of you have probably had your views assumed by some belief that you have. Say, for example, you are very pro Second Amendment. Right then and there, just me saying that, somebody is going to assume, oh, you must be a conservative Republican. You must be wearing camo pants. You must be going deer hunting. Whatever the typical Republican stereotype does, right? When in reality, I mean, they don't know anything about you based on that viewpoint. Now, if you tell them, hey, I am conservative, I have all these conservative views, that's one thing. But if you just say, hey, I'm pro-gun, I believe this, I believe that doesn't mean anything. Another example of that is, which is probably more prominent right now in this country, is the pro and anti-abortion argument. If you say you're pro-choice, I'm gonna assume, well, maybe not me, but most people will assume, oh, well, this person's probably a bleeding heart liberal, snowflake, but all the names that get attached to us. And I just think it's so funny how based on one thing one person believes in, they can basically attach all those labels to you. I don't feel like it's fair, and it's just I don't feel like it's constructive to society at all. And what I'm really trying to get at here is that you can have a plethora of different viewpoints. You can and I mean, they don't always have to align with some specific political party. You could have one that is considered a liberal view, one that is considered a conservative view. You could be very pro-gun, you could be very, and at the same time be pro-choice, which, I mean, if you know, like I just discussed, they conflict in traditional ideological senses. And I feel like that's very hard for many Americans to comprehend or understand, because we're just so used to labeling people, because for some whatever reason we just can't sit down and have a discussion about politics and not take offense to it. And I feel like oftentimes I'm kind of boxed into that corner. And this isn't a like, oh, me video or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people may share my kind of frustration with that, is that you can't have conflicting viewpoints without somebody being boxed in. And often, more times than not, I'm being slung through the mud by Democrats and Republicans alike, because I say that, oh, well, I believe in guns, but I also believe in a woman's right to choose. And now all of a sudden I'm in two different, being pulled from here to here about something that doesn't even, like, you don't even know what I believe. And oftentimes when I talk politics, which is few and far between these days, because I just feel like it just gets nowhere. People are so strict and stern in their views, which I wish it wasn't like that, but it just is. And I hate to talk politics, especially over social media, because you can just tell some of these people have never been hit in their mouth before, and they feel like they can call you under every name under the sun and get away with it. And I guess they ain't from the same hood I grew up from, because I mean that didn't fly. If you said something stupid, you was gonna get hit in the mouth. Not that I'm advocating violence, so don't assume that I'm like trying to hurt anybody or anything like that. But the general gist I'm really trying to get out of this video is that we should encourage not just others but ourselves to have different viewpoints and not feel like we do need to be boxed in with a traditional Democrat or Republican or Libertarian views. I mean, if you want to label yourself, sure, go for it. I mean, there's nothing against that. But just because you label yourself as a Democrat, a Republican, or a Libertarian, or a communist, or a fascist, or a Nazi, whatever, and I mean, maybe those other, maybe I got a little bit off track with the other ones, because, I mean, they're kind of stern and their beliefs or whatever. But just because you label yourself as something doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that the party does. And I think that's an important message to have right now, because so many people feel like they have to believe this. Because I'm a Democrat, I have to believe this, I have to believe that. And I feel like it's very unproductive to society, because nobody has original, unique ideas. And 50% of the country believes one thing, 50% believes another, and they're always just butting heads. And I mean, look at our Congress. It's just not getting anything done because nobody will agree with each other. And the thing that sucks about it is there's just so much cognitive dissonance going on. If somebody that you disagree with, so let's say, and I'm not saying I do or I don't, because I'm not going to let you know what I believe, because I am not agreeing with anybody or disagreeing with anybody. But let's say, for example, Donald Trump came out and said, you know what? Cancer is a terrible thing. It's so bad. I wish we could do away with cancer and get rid of it forever. Now, most reasonable folks would say, okay, yeah, you know what? Even though I don't like Donald Trump, or even if I do, that was a pretty reasonable thing to say. Smart, I mean, yeah, maybe simple, but I mean, who wouldn't agree with that? Cancer's bad. Most people have had somebody in their life affected by cancer. It's a terrible illness. But there will be some people, and I'm not even kidding, and you know I'm not, who will find something to nitpick about that. Just because they don't like Donald Trump, just because they are so far left that they can't even see another viewpoint of a person that's right, and that's just not right. And I feel like it has made us really bad people too, because we all have that one friend who is super extreme, whether it be right or left, who is just always talking politics. Everything has to be, oh, Trump said this, oh, Biden said this, he's a dumbass, he's a dickhead. You're at a bar having a beer, and the waitress asks him, hey, what can I get you? What do you want? He's like, do you hear what Trump said the other day? Did you hear what Biden said? And I mean, it's just, I mean, for lack of a pun, cancer. And I have no idea how long I've been rambling or anything like that, because I can't see the timer on my video. But if anything I want you to take from this, it's to be open to all viewpoints. And if you don't agree with somebody, that's it. You just simply don't agree with them. You're not going to change anybody's mind unless their mind wants to be changed. Be nice to each other. Be open to new viewpoints. If you have a view that you seriously agree with, but it doesn't align with your political party, you still agree with it. Don't feel like you need to change it, and don't budge. If somebody comes up to you and says, you know what, that view is stupid, that view is dumb, then just be like, okay, dude, you don't feel the need to argue, don't feel the need to back up your assertions or your opinions, because I mean, it's what you believe. And that person is so far gone at this point that there's probably nothing you can do at that point. Well, anyway, guys, hopefully this video wasn't too much of a change. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. Hopefully I got that all off my chest. I'm sure there will be some things that I think about later that I probably didn't get to, but this would be obviously like a 20-30 minute video, which hopefully it's not already. But anyway, if you like it, comment, subscribe. That would be fantastic for the channel. I know every single video that I've pretty much uploaded to this point has been something different, except for the 600 pound life videos. I have 2 of those. So but I am trying to figure this whole YouTube thing out. I like making videos, I like editing the videos, I like talking, I like seeing the feedback, the community. It's really something I enjoy, and I'm trying to figure out just what my niche is. And if you do have any suggestions on what could make me a better YouTuber, just video creator, content creator, whatever, just please do not be afraid to let me know. I'm in this thing, I'm trying to figure it out. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and that's what that is.